All right, now let's begin with our first question. Please always mark the keyword because it will help us to arrive at the correct answer quickly, saving time. Option A says terminate and reinitialize the Spark session after each action. Restarting the session repeatedly adds avoidable setup cost and disrupts execution flow. It's incorrect. If you want the PDF version of this course, please enroll in Diamond membership or above by clicking the join button now. Once enrolled, please connect and inbox me on LinkedIn at the rate of CloudGuruAmit or Instagram at the rate of AmitPhysique. I'll be glad to help you out with the PDF version of this course and hands-on files if available for this course. Let's move to B. B says skip using Spark session and depends solely on Spark context. Spark session is essential for data frame APIs and unified access. Spark context alone is insufficient. Therefore, wrong answer. Let's move to option C. C says initiate a fresh Spark session before every transformation. Creating multiple sessions fragments resource management and complicates configuration consistency. We'll delete this. Let's move to D. D says maintain one Spark session instance throughout the entire pipeline. Reusing a single Spark session avoids unnecessary overhead and preserves session level optimization. That being said, option D is the right answer. Okay, so this will test your concepts on SQL. Option A, if we look, this uses queries or this queries the location, but print schema function cannot be applied on a SQL result. Hence incorrect. Option B, if we look, this method is the correct Parquet reference and applies a print schema function to reveal the structure. Let's keep it. Now option C, if we look, so if you look here, it will show the data rows instead of schema details. Wrong choice. Option D, if you look, this code accesses Parquet, but show function outputs records, not schema, what we need as per the question here. D is wrong. Let's lock option B as the right answer. Let's bring the hay to the snow. This is all about temporary view. Option A, if we look, says df.create temp view user activity view. So df.create temp view user activity view fails if a view with the same name already exists. It's incorrect. Let's move to option B. Option B, if you look, says df.register temp table user activity view. So this will use outdated syntax, right? And may not be supported in newer Spark versions. This is also incorrect. Let's move to option C. Option C says df.create global temp view user activity view. So this will create a view with global scope, which isn't limited to the current session. We'll delete this. We'll move to now option D. Option D says df.create or replace temp view user activity view. So this will avoid duplication errors by replacing any existing temporary view with the same name. That being said, option D is the right answer. All right, now let's look at this question. Option A says CPU cores. CPU cores provide raw computational power but are not Spark components managing task execution, hence incorrect. Option B says driver nodes. Driver nodes assign tasks and coordinate jobs but do not perform the execution. Wrong choice. Let's move to option C. C says worker nodes. Worker nodes host executors but do not execute tasks themselves. We'll delete this. We'll look at option D, which is the only option left. It says executors. Executors run the task assigned by the driver nodes during job execution. That being said, option D, executors, is the right answer. Alright, now let's look at this question. Option A says Spark loads the entire text file into memory, filters the data, and then aggregates it by server ID. So this basically misinterprets Spark's lazy evolution model. You have a wrong answer. We'll move to now option B. B says Spark reads the text file, treats filtering as an action, and performs aggregation as a transformation. So this option mislabels filtering as an action, which it isn't. Therefore, wrong answer. Option C says Spark lazily reads the file, applies filtering and aggregation as one transformation, and runs the full pipeline as an action. So this option incorrectly combines two distinct transformations into one. Let's delete it. Let's move to option D. D says Spark lazily reads the file, applies filtering as a narrow transformation, and aggregates by server ID as a wide transformation that triggers a shuffle. Filtering is a narrow transformation, and aggregation causes a shuffle, which is a wide transformation. That being said, option D is the right answer. We'll lock it. Alright, now let's look at this. This is all about the key benefit of applying partitions when saving data into persistent table. Option E says it removes unused partitions to enhance storage efficiency. Partitioning doesn't perform cleanup of unused partitions. Incorrect. We'll move to now option B. B says it applies compression to reduce disk usage. Compression is a separate optimization which is unrelated to partitioning. Wrong answer. Let's move to option C. C says it improves performance by scanning only relevant partitions during data access. Partitioning enables selective scanning of relevant partitions, reducing read overhead. Let's keep it. Option D says it loads all data into memory at once to speed up query execution. Partitioning doesn't force full in-memory loading of data. We'll delete this. Let's lock option C as the right answer. Alright, now let's look at this. This is all about preventing the organization from adopting Spark Connect. Option A says the team needs to perform interactive debugging from within the application code. Spark Connect allows debugging through client-side tools. Hence incorrect. Option B says the system must isolate application logic and dependencies from the Spark driver. Spark Connect separates client and driver, meeting the requirement. So this is we are looking for requirement which prevents, right? So this is incorrect. Let's move to option C. C says the migration plan requires support for all Spark APIs including RDD based code. Spark Connect doesn't support RDD APIs, which blocks full migration of existing code. Let's keep it. Let's move to option D. D says the upgrade process must allow Spark applications to evolve independently from the Spark driver. Spark Connect enables independent upgrades of client and driver. So we'll delete this. Let's now lock option C as the right answer. Okay, here we go with an interesting question this time. So this is all about the log showing frequent task termination due to timeout errors and repeated alerts about resource shortages. Option A says modify the Spark configuration to allocate more memory to each executor. More memory per executor doesn't solve low task parallelism. Hence incorrect. Let's move to option B. B says tune the spark.network.timeout settings to extend task completion time before termination. Extending timeout delays failure but doesn't improve resource usage. Wrong answer. Let's move to option C. C says scale up the number of executor instances to support higher task concurrency. Increasing executor instances enables more tasks to run in parallel, improving cluster utilization. Let's keep it. Option D says shrink the data partition size to improve task distribution. Smaller partitions help scheduling but doesn't address resource underuse. We'll delete this. We'll lock option C as the right answer. All right. Now let's look at this. Option A, if we look, uses asterisk 20 instead of asterisk 0.2. So there will be miscalculation and an invalid drop method. Hence, incorrect. Let's move to now option B. Option B, if we look, looks good because it applies the correct 20% calculation, that is salary into 0.2, and uses valid drop age method. Let's keep it. Now option C, if we look, the multiplier is correct, but the drop method is incorrect, just like option A we have rejected, right? So C is out. Now let's move to option D. Option D, if we look again, the multiplier is wrong. It should be 0.2, just like B, instead of 20. Like option A we have rejected already, right? Again, just like so this is again incorrect just because of this drop method is right though. So for now option D is out. We'll lock option B as the right answer. All right. Now let's look at this. This is all about real-time fraud alerts and dynamic credit scoring. Option A says efficient handling of compact datasets. Small datasets doesn't reflect the scale of the problem. Hence incorrect. Let's move to B. B says ability to run SQL queries on structured inputs. SQL support doesn't solve performance issues with massive data. Wrong answer. Let's move to C. C says fast computation using memory and task parallelism. In-memory execution and parallel task distribution enables fast processing of large-scale data. Let's keep it. Option D says ability of built-in tools for machine learning. Machine learning libraries help modeling but do not address core processing speed. We'll delete this. Let's lock option C as the right answer. If you want the PDF version of this course, please enroll in Diamond membership or above by clicking the join button now. Once enrolled, please connect and inbox me on LinkedIn at the rate of Cloud Guru Amit or Instagram at the rate of Amit Physique. I'll be glad to help you out with the PDF version of this course and hands-on files if available for this course. Thank you so much for watching this video.